Hello everyone and welcome to the STPL. You may notice that things look a little bit different. I did finally get a green screen. Things are not perfect still. There are still a few little bits that need to be figured out because I can't actually fit it perfectly where I am. So I need to move around a little bit, but hopefully it looks better than the old screen. If you want to see what the old screen looked like, if you've not seen it before, here it is. Or I suppose it was more like this, but you can't really see it anymore. So it's all good. But green screen, got a new background as well, courtesy of Royalty Free Tube. They made this amazing synthwave background. I edited it a little bit just to make it look a little bit better now. Obviously, when Rapid is casting with me, he will be over to the right as well, and I'll move us all around. The coolest thing I can do, which is really, really dumb, but I really like doing this, is just like moving myself around. It looks so stupid. I can even put myself in the middle, because that's the power I have, and you know what, I'm going to do that. So yeah, we're here for another day of STPL action. Today we're finally going to be casting VT versus NiCe, and we'll also be casting the other game that I missed on Friday, which is IRK versus White. That should be really, really sick. That's going to be a really cool kind of throwback match because those two teams have actually met quite a lot, and there is a bit of history there. So let's have a look at our first matchup. It is going to be Valhalla team versus NiCe. Now, NiCe, one of our newer teams in the STPL. Oh, a ghost flying on my screen. Ah, nice. And Valhalla team joined us near the end of round 2 as well, or the end of season 1, sorry. So both relatively newer teams. Valhalla team didn't have the best of successes in season 1, but they partnered up with Clan Wiko through the break in season 1 to season 2, and now they have a very, very strong and very wide roster focusing on both Koreans and foreign players. So it's going to be kind of cool to see how exactly that's all going to play out. So far, they're actually, both these teams are 1-1 in round 2. Oh, sorry. Man, round and season, how can I keep getting those words wrong? But season 2, obviously this is a pretty long season, but not anywhere near as long as season 1. So there is around about 11 weeks left after these final games today. Having a look at the team rankings at the end of well, it's not the end of the week just yet. I'll show this again at the very end of the stream. But Seoul and White Clan both up there at the top. White Clan are actually still to play their final series for week 3. And overall, we should be about 14 weeks. So going to be kind of cool to see how that's going. If we have a look at today's matches, we've actually got a good amount of diverse matches for you guys today. We've got a ZVP between JD and Master. That's a Jaedong fan. Then we've got a PVT between a Reach fan and Chef Kev on Blitz X. We're going to have a TVZ between Forever and Or on Multiverse. And then we're going to have a ZVZ between Cross and Hawk on Whiteout. Now, if you may not know who Hawk is, he is one of the legendary North American players that's been around since the dawn of time. He took a relatively big break to play StarCraft 2, but he came back again. He did incredibly well in the Zotac Cup, and then he just did really, really well, being the only player to take a game off of Bonneth in the Corrupted Cup, or one of the only 2 players that took a game off of Bonneth, I think. So just overall, Hawk is amazing. And I believe Cross is Crossy, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm fairly certain it is, though. It's really difficult because there's so many people with the same names. For example, this player right here is going to be JD. No stats for him so far, but it is in fact a Jaedong fan. Hot forever. That'd be amazing. I'd love to see his games again. And his opponent for NiCe is going to be Master. Master is their clan leader for NiCe. You can see his stream on the NiCe community when you go on Twitch. I believe all of them actually share that calendar. So, going to be cool. But Master has only played 1 game. Thank you so much. Bye, Frost AOV. Thanks for the 2nd month resub, man. Means a lot. You've also got access to 3 additional sub emotes now. If you want to support Rev, NetWars, or IRK, I've added their logos so you can spam them in chat when they're playing. It's going to be great. I thought this one really well through. And let's actually have a look at the map stats here. We're going to be going into game number 1. It's going to be on New Tornado. In terms of ZVP, it is a ZVP, isn't it? Yeah, it is a ZVP. I completely forgot for a second. New Tornado ZVP. This is actually going to be our first one. The last time I saw a ZVP on this map myself, at least casting, was in the Clash for Char number 12, I think it was, where Eriador played like an hour-long PvZ on this map. So hopefully we're going to see some amazing games. But one thing I'll say, Edgeworlder, I know you said that you looked them up on Liquipedia and it seems kind of weird because they're only Koreans and Mexicans, but one of the strangest things I've noticed is a lot of Korean clans actually team up with South American or North American clans. I guess it's because both of them can play quite well together. There's not too much lag between the two places. Because when you look at EF as well, Eternal Friends, that's mostly South Americans and Koreans. And then you have DM, which is South Americans with some Koreans as well. So there must be something that gets them together, but hopefully we'll see some better games from all of them because of it. As we head into game number 1, it's VT's JD versus NiCe's Master here on New Tornado. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the Purple Zerg fighting for Valhalla team. It is JD. And his opponent spawning up here in the top middle position, we do have the Orange Protoss fighting for NiCe. It's their captain, it's Master. Now I realize we don't have the power of being on LAN like Corrupted Cup was, but one thing I think we do have over the Corrupted Cup is the production. So I know Rapid did an amazing job with his hashtag production value with his text files in the top right hand corner of his screen. But he's got a way to go, and maybe one day I'll help him with it, because I'm hoping that I'll be able to get to go to the Corrupted Cup next year as well, because that was an amazing tournament. But if you guys want, it would be a big help to the STPL if you tell your friends to come support as well. Should be a lot of fun. The more players we get supporting the teams, the better, I think, because I think one of the best things about Old Pro League for me especially was I was a massive SKT fan, but on Team Liquid there was so many fans of so many different teams, and whenever like anyone played each other, there was always like that team spirit going on, even though we weren't ever directly invested in the teams or anything, because we couldn't even speak the same language. There was still that like feeling of camaraderie, and I'm hoping the STPL can definitely replicate that for the foreign and Korean scene, due to the fact this is a global tournament. Now we see an overpull coming in from JD, one of the most common openings in ZVP at the moment. It keeps you pretty well defended against any gateway first builds, and it also allows you to put some pressure on a Forge Fast Expand, which, if the Protoss player does not prepare correctly, will actually cause them to lose the game. I've even seen Bonneth lose to that in the STPL before, so Master did in fact choose not to scout, a very risky play. I'm kind of interested as to why, but it does mean going Forge Gateway into Cannon is not as... I mean, it does delay your Nexus still, but it's not the absolute worst situation you can be in, because you get the extra minerals from that extra probe that you don't send out to scout. Now, Master is unfortunately going to scout in the wrong direction. Unfortunately, he didn't see the other Overlord coming in, so we're going to see Master scouting dead last, but you never know, he may get lucky and scout this additional third base coming in. Now there is gas coming up, so there's going to be a lair following this quite shortly, I would imagine. Now obviously Hydra Bust is a very strong move on this map. You can actually look at how wide of an area you get to attack, and there's not actually too much room for cannons, so we'll have to be careful there. And if we have a look, gas coming up for Master as well, and Hydralisk Den is coming up first, so we'll have to see if this is going to be a lair or if it is going to be a Hydra bust. Obviously you can just go for the Hydralisk upgrades just off of Hatchery. We'll see if the lair's coming up in just a second. Okay, so no lair as of yet. I think it may be 150 gas, but I can never remember the cost of lair because I'm a big old clown. But looks like it is going to be a Hydra bust, I think, here. Or at least an aggressive Hydra opening. Yeah, Hydra speed coming down first. Still no lair. Obviously this still hasn't been scouted. Master does get his Zealot out a little bit quicker. But due to the fact that Nexus isn't up yet, it's definitely not the best position to be in build order wise. But let's see if this lair comes up, because obviously when you're not going for a Hydra bust, you do need that lair for the Spire. But let's count the drones. We've actually got 9 in the main. Is there going to be 7 at the natural? There's currently 6. There's going to be 7. And is it going to be 3? It looks like it is. We're going to have a 973 build. There is a modern variant. Well, I guess it's all kind of a modern build, but there is a new variation where you go 9734, it's called, where you take a 4th base immediately after. It's not all in, like a lot of 3-hatch Hydra builds are. You have a semi-decent economy back home. No, yeah, it is. It's 973. Here we go. JD, using those modern Korean strats. This is a very, very popular build on the Korean ladder at the moment. And we'll have to see if Master is going to be able to deal with it. He hasn't scouted anything. And that's part of the problem with scouting so late. This could be one of the quickest games we've had. Now, I'm hoping Master can hold on to this, but unfortunately he's only just now seeing the Hydralisks. And he doesn't have the kind of money to spam a ton of cannons right now. Range should be finishing up fairly soon. He's got that about halfway done. But the trouble is the cannons are so far back that he can't even defend his forge against unupgraded Hydras. And this could be a massive, massive problem. He's adding on a ton of cannons, but losing this forge for 4+1 is a massive boon. And he may even lose the gateway as well. Okay, so Hydras continue to stream across the map here, and Master is in a very difficult situation. Even if he doesn't die here to the Hydralisks, I think that JD is in such an incredible position that it's going to be very difficult to lose. Now, one of the cannons does go down immediately. Hydras do a ton of damage to cannons. And look at this, another forge is being added on. He can't add any more cannons, and he's building it in range of the Hydralisk. He's trying to add on 2 forges. There we go. He is going to cancel them, but with no additional cannons, things are going to be very difficult. Now the Templar Archives has finished up, but look at this. There's already 2 Overlords here. The Hydras are going to bust in. 2 of the cannons going down immediately. The 3rd cannon, the 4th cannon, both going down, and it looks like the 6-minute curse has been activated, as this game is 100% done. GG. We make it 7 minutes, but not quite past the curse. JD takes game number 1. Okay, so obviously that was an unfortunate loss there for Master, but when you choose to scout that late, it can come back and bite you, and that's exactly what happened, unfortunately. So we're going to be going into game number 2 just after this incredibly short break. See you guys very soon. Neo-Arkanoid also makes its appearance in STPL Season 2, a map from 2006. It's from the OGN Star League from back then, one of the early OSLs, and it's a semi-island map. I think one of the first of its kind that got major use after about the year 2004. It's one of a kind. I don't think I've ever seen another map like it. There's temples and power generators absolutely everywhere, making it very difficult to get through the middle of the map. But air units, of course, going to be very important here. The one problem all three races are going to have is they're very easy to take second and third bases. They both have gas, but they are blocked by those chrysalises, so it makes it important to build a few aggressive units early on in order to get that second and third gas as soon as you can. Important thing to note, if you do open up that centre, the rush distance is very small. Okay guys, we are back here for some more STPL action. We're going to be heading into game number 2 between VT and NiCe. We're going to have another debut game for Valhalla team here. It's going to be their player Reach. Now Reach hasn't played in the STPL. It is just a Reach fan. I don't believe it's the main Reach chin toss, but maybe one day he'll play as well. And we have a look at his opponent. It's going to be Chef Kev. Now, Chef Kev has gone 1-1 in his previous games. He's only played against Zerg, so we're not too sure exactly how he's going to do here in this TVP. As we get onto our second map, it's going to be Blitz X. Now, Blitz X... Oh, Chin Toss's stats, my bad. Man Toss was Reach, wasn't it? Yeah, because he just built Zealots. I always forget about stats because he plays StarCraft 2 now. He was like one of KT's ace players. He was so good. It's like Peachul Gab or whatever. That was such a weird name, P7 Gab. But yeah, Blitz X, really fun map. PvT has been a little bit skewed on this map. Every game so far we've had Protoss trying to be super aggressive and Terran defending it absolutely perfectly. When you look at some of the Terran players that have beat some of the Protoss players here, you can understand why it went that way. Now, Perfume had an amazing game against Kogan here, so hopefully we're going to see another wonderful PvT, because I do like to see the stats a little bit more balanced. And yeah, stats was really good in the end days, Xmog. But let's get into game number 2. Okay, in the top left-hand position, we do have the Red Terran fighting for NiCe. It's Chef Kev. And his opponent already doing something cheeky over here. In the top right-hand position, we do have, in the navy blue, it's Reach, fighting for Valhalla team. Now, we already have a little probe running across the map right now. We've seen Protoss players proxy on this map before. Both times it's happened, it's been scouted by their Terran opponents, and the Terrans do eventually hold on. But let's see if Chef Kev is going to have that ability. Now, we don't have a perfect wall here, so unfortunately Chef Kev doesn't seem to realize if you put the supply depot there and the barracks, it's a tight wall. So this is a bit of a funky wall here to start. But it could be one of the first times Chef Kev has actually played this map, because he's not been sent out on here before. But the first gateway is going to be on the way now. Whoa. Was that a mistake? Okay, this is either the ultimate mind game, or I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, you know what? Maybe this isn't enough room to build the gateway. That would be incredibly unfortunate. Yeah, looks like it wasn't. So we're gonna have a gateway coming up here. That is not a big enough area to build a gateway for any future Protoss who wants to proxy on this map. That's a little bit unfortunate, but as you can see, This wall is unfortunately the wrong way around, so this is quite possibly the worst situation for Shefkev to be in. But he hasn't been gas stole. Luckily enough, the extra pylon gave him the time to deal with this. Now, he is going to have the ability to move the barracks to a place where he can wall off. And you can also build a depot here if you want to. So it's not the end of the world. And he's also scouted the proxy because the proxy is so far forward that just by leaving his base he got to see it. Now, he's not pulled any SCVs to try and go and kill it. So we're not going to see him try and break down the gateway immediately. But we're going to need to see him go for... Oh, he's actually going to go for a bunker. Now, I don't know whether this is going to work or not, because I almost feel like the Zealot's just going to run past. But it's going to be a while before that first Zealot comes out. Now, ironically, there is no pylon back at home, so Reach is having to build his third pylon super early. So there's going to be no core, at least initially. That's going to come up just now. So, oh, it's the second gateway, actually. He's going to take this all in. He's not going to build the core first. But look at this. Shefkev coming in, getting that scout off, knowing exactly what is going on. Looks like he has got the SCVs out there blocking. Oh no, the probe got an SCV. That always feels so horrible. Oh, he gets the probe. Okay. It could be worse, but look at this. The Zealot is just going to run straight past, and there's only a single Marine. Playing a little bit greedy here is Shefkev. And now he's going to have a lot of trouble getting this factory finished. I mean, oh, he saves the SCV at least, but where's the Marine gone? Okay, here comes the Marine. But losing another SCV, Zealots are so unbelievably strong in the early game when you don't have the proper wall. And it looks like he is going to be able to stay alive for now, but there's going to be a second Zealot coming in here. Now, there is 3 Marines now. He needs to get the Marine to the bunker. He doesn't. That's a big deal, but luckily enough, the factory is coming up. He knows there's no core yet, so a Vulture first is a very good decision. But how many SCVs is Shefkev going to lose to hold on to this? Okay, he only lost about 4 there, which, while isn't the best, it's not the worst either. Reach caught a lot of probes to build the early pylon and the extra gateway, so... Okay, we finally do have... Oh, that was a nice block with the SCV, but unfortunately it was one that was 1 hit away from death. Reach with the manlots pushing in. Obviously it's not the real manlots, but he's channeling the namesake of Reach here for this game. And luckily enough, the Marines do get that this time. Now, the Dragoons aren't going to be able to push because there is a bunker at the top of the ramp, but there's currently no Marines in it. So let's see. Yeah, he is going to go for Dragoons, but is he going to play aggressively? I think that may be a little bit much. So yeah, it looks like he is just going to be sending the Dragoons, trying to block any additional scouts. But look at this, a Vulture manages to get out. Unfortunately, Reach is already there defending, but this was a really nice choice to try and at least get in and do a little bit of damage, but he's not going to be able to do it for now. There's 2 Dragoons up there. He's way off of mines. He's not actually started upgrading anything yet. And oh, please don't lose the Vulture. That would be an absolute travesty. There we go. He's going to pull back. Going to keep his Vulture alive for now. And the important thing is, this means Reach has to now worry about a Vulture on the map. He can't just run around willy-nilly. He has no idea what his opponent's doing. There's a tank on the high ground, so that kind of... It telegraphs that it's probably siege first, but unfortunately because he didn't siege, he can't tell. So now he has to worry about mines. He's going to be adding on his rowboat. He's going to have to add on an observatory as well. You can see he's kind of being very careful with where he's sending his Dragoons. These 2 are playing this a little bit risky. Like, imagine if there were mines here right now. They would be 2 dead Dragoons, but looks like he is quite confident in his situation. There is going to be siege mode on the way, and both players are actually going to get their expansions up at relatively similar times. Unfortunately, obviously Shefkev is going to have to worry about some kind of one-base play. The Vulture does go down, but it sees that there's no Nexus. That's obviously the big thing here. There's no additional tech actually after the Robo, which is kind of surprising, but Reach looks like he wants to just kind of deny or delay everything a little bit for some reason. I guess we'll have to see what his eventual plan is here, but I'd put Shefkev at actually a decent position in this game at the moment. Wait, was that 3 gates? Oh my god, yeah, it's actually... it's 3 gates on one base, my bad. I can't count, I completely forgot that there was a gateway down here. Okay, now there is a bunker coming up. There's also a missile turret that's going to massively help against this incoming Bulldog. Now you can already see Dragoons are going to be shuttled over into the main. And let's see... oh my god, he needs to repair the bunker. Okay, I mean necessarily it's not the biggest deal losing this, there's nothing in it. But obviously with the Dragoons being in a position... oh my god, the Marines come down to a bunker that's dead. But he needs to be careful, there's going to be units unfreezing, well, unloading in his main. Now we are going to have another bunker at the back. That's not necessarily going to help. He needs to get tanks in his main. That's going to be the main problem here. Now there is an observatory finally. We have seen Protoss players actually throw the... wow, wait. Tanks can shoot this far? I do not understand distances in this game, man. This is so difficult. But here we go. The Dragoons coming in from the main. The Dragoons going to be coming in from the natural as well. The tank on the high ground going to go down. Another tank that's just finished. Also going to go down. This is a massive loss for Shefkev. And more units going to get ferried in. The Dragoons at the front don't seem like they want to push forward. But look at this. He's going to have to pull his Marines back, his tanks back. He's going to lose mines before they finish. And he can no longer add any additional tanks. This is a massive move for Reach. And oh no, there's the units busting in from the front. This is the worst position Shefkev could be in. Luckily enough, he's not lost too many workers yet. But if this tank goes down, this is pretty much his only defensive unit. And there we go, the tank goes down. There's still 6 Dragoons in his main right now. 7 actually. The SCVs are going to try and do their best to block, but the tank is going to go down once again. And this is bound to be it. Shefkev, unfortunately, not in the best of positions here, is going to lose to this drop. We've seen so many games on Blitz X where this has gone completely wrong. But look at this, he's built a Vulture and it's got no mines. There's nothing he can do about this. Now he has cleaned up most of the Dragoons for now, so maybe if he can get his machine shop again, if he can get some more units, he can hold on. But this isn't everything. There's a Zealot coming in from the bottom, going to kill some SCVs at the natural expansion. The Vulture comes out and goes down immediately. And meanwhile, Reach is adding on to a 3rd base. He is so far ahead right now. And unfortunately for Shefkev, this is bound to be it. We made it past the 6-minute curse here, guys, but we're not going to get much further in this game. The Vulture coming out again, still no mines, no machine shop, no second factory even. And the only units he actually has is this one Marine in the bunker. GG, Shefkev taps out, and Reach takes game number 2. Yeah, no, this isn't pro gamer Reach, but he certainly channeled the namesake of Reach there. 1 base, 3 gate, into a robo, into a drop. Shefkev unfortunately did not have his units positioned in the right place. He didn't have mines, and unlike the game we saw Tim nearly win with that a similar strategy to that, there wasn't a ton of mines in the base. And when that happens, and suddenly 4 Dragoons come up to your only high ground tank, it's not a good place to be. So that's going to be a 2-0 lead for Valhalla team as we get into game number 3. It's going to be Forever versus Or after this short break. See you guys very soon. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. We're going to be heading in to game number 3. It's going to be Forever versus All. Let's quickly introduce both of our players here. Obviously this is a very important match for NiCe here. If they cannot win, Valhalla team will be taking the series. Forever has played 3 games. He's won all 3. He's currently STPL rank 31. He's taken down Tim. It was actually Tim versus Forever on BlitzX was the game I was thinking about before. He's beaten Faust as well, fan favorite, and he also took down Eon Zerg on Multiverse with a very dirty, amazing 2-fact vault. Speed vaults ran past Eon Zerg's defense and killed 90% of his drones. It was incredible. So he is, in fact, 2-0 up against his opponent's race, 2-0 up against Zerg, and he has beaten Eon Zerg. So his opponent, Or here, is going to have a little bit of trouble, I think. But Or, a very strong Zerg player from Canada, has taken down Kiri from DM and King Toss from EF. Rank 61 themselves. We're going to have to see how they do as we head in to Multiverse. Now, one of the games that Forever won was against Eon Zerg on this map, so we'll have to see if he goes for a similar style or if he's going to change things up a little bit. We've actually had a decent amount of TVZ here. The scores are pretty much even, 3-2. It's been really exciting to see this map in the map pool. Actually, we've had some amazing games, and you can tell by the variation of the games have actually gotten the stats. There's actually been a lot of different races being sent out here, so that's always good to see. We've not got like a PvP map in this pool or anything like Central Plains and Troy was in Season 1, but let's get in to game number 3. Okay, starting us off up here in the 12 o'clock position, we do have the Green Terran fighting for Valhalla team. It's Forever. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left, we do have the wonderfully magenta colored Zerg fighting for NiCe. It's Or. Now, one thing to note is both of them are spawning on the same side of the map. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if we have a look at the entire map here, there are these assimilators. If you don't know how this map feature works, if you kill one of the assimilators, only small units can get through, and if you kill both, only ghosts can get through, which I highly doubt we're going to see from Forever here. But the last time we saw Forever play on this map, he played a very aggressive style of mech. Kind of excited to see if he's actually going to replicate that again, because it's not often you see these crazy like 1 or 2 base very quick mech pushes, but essentially against Eon Zerg, Forever massed up speed vultures and just ran past the only defense Eon Zerg had. Unfortunately his wall wasn't tight. Now, we're not in the same positions as the last time, but we've got the barracks coming up, and we'll need to see if there's going to be a gas coming in as well. That's going to be the main tell, obviously, for mech. Now, we do have Or going for a 12 hatch, very normal build. Going to be a little bit harder to hold on to when you're both in similar places. You can see both of them like ships passing in the night, going to scout each other here. Huge thanks to the follows, guys. And Youthing is probably because sometimes the follows reset, I think. Like, I've been following people and suddenly I'm not, and it's like, how is that possible? But cheers for the refollow, man. It's good to see you back here again. I know you're in here a lot, so hopefully you enjoy the content. Now, we're not going to see a mech build, at least to begin with, coming out of Forever here, so it is going to be different from his game against Eon Zerg. It's 1 Rax Fast Expand. Now, this is 1 Rax Fast Expand off of a single Marine, and he did build the command center before the second depot, so this is a very greedy opening compared to a normal 1 Rax Fast Expand, but if you get a quick scout, it's definitely something you can do. And he sees that the spawning pool isn't done, so he knows exactly what he can do. Now it is going to be 2 racks. Now we're probably going to see the gas coming up shortly after this, and then we'll see the academy coming in as well. It's very rare you'll go for an engineering bay off of 2 racks. The idea behind this build is you kind of go for... Oh my god, is he nearly going to kill the... That is crazy. I didn't realize an SCV could do that much damage to a spawning pool. Okay, I'm going to have to try and like fit that in my game. So we're going to have 2 hatch layer. The layer is going to be at the natural. This is a very good decision given the close proximity of spawns. But let's see exactly how long Forever can keep his SCV alive in the base. This is very difficult to do. And if you lose your SCV, you can be in a lot of trouble. Now, the SCV looks like it is going to go down, so it's a little bit unfortunate. 1 wrong turn, and this is going to be 1 dead SCV. But we'll have to see. It looks like he is going to get away for now. Now, the academy is on the way. Gas is being mined. This is, of course, to get your upgrades as soon as physically possible. And yeah, you want range and stim as quick as you possibly can. Now, oh my god, this is a good move by Orr, moving in with a ton of lings, catching those early marines. This is very difficult. Sorry, I was actually putting Duckfill in a little bit of a timeout there. He was going a little bit crazy. Now, that is a forced lift on this command center. Now, luckily enough for Forever, he does have 2 barracks, so he's going to have more marines, but he's going to lose a lot of SCVs here. It's going to be so difficult. But the lings are getting stuck, but there's not that many SCVs here. The lings are starting to break through. They're going to be able to get on top of the marines. Let's see how much damage they can do. Apparently not too much. If that was me, all my marines and all my SCVs would have died there. But an amazing hold by Forever. He has a worker lead at the moment. This is going to be 2 hatch spire on a very low economy, so it's likely that this is going to be a 2 hatch spire all in. Now the lings try and come in. If they can knock down some of these marines, they'll be in a good spot, but with the medics there, it becomes a lot more difficult. Now there is a single ling in the main. Can he get an SCV? He's close, but no, nice glitching. Gonna save that SCV with 35 health, so really, really good job by Forever so far. Pretty much a perfect situation. And if we have a look here, we've got creep colonies coming in. He sees that Forever is going for that ample style. He's stimming across the map. He knows he's killed a ton of lings. And if he can get in here before these Sunkens are done, this is going to be game over. But interestingly, he's not going straight for the jugular. I think he's going to try and intercept some of the Mulisks, but the Mulisks are already at his base. There is a couple of turrets here in the natural. This is what he was waiting for. He was waiting to know that the Mutas are absolutely nowhere near this. But let's see if we can see a Forever hold. Sorry, a Orr hold here. He does for now. The Mutalisk's going to dive on this turret, but he's going to... Oh, that Mutalisk so close to dying. Needs to be so careful. But he is going to be able to do a lot of damage with these Mutalisks. He needs to be careful, though. He does not have the Mutalisk numbers to deal with this kind of thing now. And look at this. The medic's going to go in and take some of that damage. But good target firing by Orr. Going to take down all of the units. Only medics remain. And Orr is doing a fantastic job here in this game. That was a very dangerous position, but he did manage to hold. Good moves by Forever, though, to send those medics in first. And looks like there was a little bit of lag, but to be honest, the lag has actually helped Orr a little bit here. I don't know. Obviously, this is a global team league, so there could be a little bit of lag sometimes. And unfortunately, it seems American players are very likely, or North American players seem to suffer a little bit more from lag than the other regions. So a little bit unfortunate there, but of course... I mean, Orr is in a good position. He got himself back in the game a little bit. He didn't do too much with his lings, but he delayed the expansion of Forever for a bit. Now, there is still only 2 barracks A third barrel, oh no, there's going to be a factory being added on, so we should see that second gas coming up soon as well. But with just 2 racks and losing those early medic marine, I mean, Forever isn't going to be leaving his base for a very long time. And look at this, Ore is going to take the bottom left expansion. Now, if you don't know about how the way this base works, the only way by ground is through these installation gates, and the only units that can go through them is workers mineral walking, so there is going to be no possible chance for Forever to check down that base until he gets a dropship at the very least. He has scanned. Now Ore does need to be careful, taking a lot of damage on his Muteless for no real reason there, unfortunately not able to find any damage, but he is going to fall back. Now this game, NiCe's life is on the line in this series. Now both these teams are tied up in the overall rankings. Obviously every team plays every team, so both teams will be badly wanting a win here, because obviously every win does matter in the way towards the playoffs. Top 8 teams make it to the playoffs here. And yeah, there is a cliff that Marines can walk up to, but it's also a droppable cliff as well, so... Now, back in the base, there is a hive, and of course the Defiler Mound is coming in. I clicked on it and didn't say anything, but Lurker Aspect coming in as well. And obviously when you go up to Defilers, that's when things get a little bit more difficult for Terran. Now, we do have +1 attack, not yet finished. +2 is going to be a very, very long way away. And if we can see Lurkers come up with Dark Swarm under them, Forever is not going to be able to do any damage to Ore, but this is a big, big army. Now the Starport finally getting its control tower. A single Muteless heading up to the top left here. Is this going to be Guardians? Yeah, it's going to be Guardians. Oh, this could be a dangerous move though. He's got all of his Muteless out of the way. There's actually not any Lurkers up here yet. There is 4 Sunkens, but there is 4 Medics. So this could be quite dangerous. One of the Marines going to scout out where the Muteless are, I believe. Okay, that was a bit of a weird move, but he does try and run up to the installation gate. Unfortunately, you can't run through. Taking a little bit of extra damage on his army. Definitely something you don't want to be doing. Now, the Great Aspire has been scouted. The Hydralisks, for some reason, are heading back. They should really sit nearer the front. But we do have a Defiler out. Consume is almost done. And that essentially means as long as these Lurkers finish, this attack will not do anything. Now, of course, this is kind of a front for the next few moments. There is going to be a double dropship heading down here to the bottom left-hand position, and there is currently no Nidus Worm. Now, no Nidus is a big, big problem because he's not going to be able to save his third base here, and double dropship obviously going to take a lot of units over. Now, not only do you have the option of dropping in the natural, you can also drop in the main. Now, there is going to be a lot of Guardians morphing in here. Now, Guardians not the best against Bio, but if you can get in a good position, they are. Now, here we go. Lurkers pushing forward with that Dark Swarm, but that's going to give Forever a moment to load up. He's going to be flying towards the bottom right-hand base. Here we go. He sees the Guardians, I believe, actually. Yeah, there we go. The Guardians coming in. The Marines going to be unable to stim them down. Guardians do 20 damage per hit, so do 2-shot Marines. And Forever's army is actually caught in a very awkward position. The Lurkers, though, not having the Swarm. There we go. Swarm going down. The dropship has not actually gone in just yet. Double drop going into the main. There's no defense back at home. The Guardians are out in the middle of the map, and this drop could be devastating here for Ore. He has nothing to defend his spawning pool, nothing to defend his Hydralisk den, and Forever is in a very good position, but the Guardians come in to help clean this up. The hatchery is going to survive, does lose the Defiler for not really any real reason there. Obviously the units in the middle of the map still going to hold strong, but there is going to be double vessel, double detectors. GG. Ore taps out, and Forever takes the series 3-0. Now, in that game, I certainly feel like Ore was not down and out. I think he kind of felt that he was 100% dead after losing his tech. Obviously, that is a massive, massive problem. He can't build any further Lurkers, but he could definitely stall for long enough with Lurkers under Swarm but when you see those vessels, it's only a matter of time, unfortunately, for a Zerg player, especially when you take that much damage to a drop. But he did play an incredibly risky style. He went for a Ling all-in that didn't work, forever held it perfectly, and from there, I mean, Orr did a fantastic job over and over again, trying to come back and back, but unfortunately, Forever did win that game in the long run, and that's going to take us into game number 4. I think we're going to have a little bit of a fan favorite here, as we're going to have Hawk up against Cross. So I don't think Hawk was in this BSL, but he was in the Corrupted Cup, did a fantastic job there, representing Team USA, and Cross making it to the BSL round of 16. I'm fairly certain they're the same person. I don't know if VT Game or VTS50A are in the chat or anything, but if you are, if you can confirm if that is actually the same Cross, that'd be very useful. And I'll be back with game number 4 when we get back after this short break. See you guys very soon. Neo Arkanoid also makes its appearance in STPL Season 2, a map from 2006. It's from the OGN Star League from back then, one of the early OSLs, and it's a semi-island map. I think one of the first of its kind that got major use after about the year 2004. It's one of a kind. I don't think I've ever seen another map like it. There's temples and power generators absolutely everywhere, making it very difficult to get through the middle of the map. The air units, of course, going to be very important here. The one problem all 3 races are going to have is the very easy to take second and third bases. They both have gas, but they are blocked by those chrysalises, so it makes it important to build a few aggressive units early on in order to get that second and third gas as soon as you can. Important thing to note, if you do open up that center, the rush distance is very small. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for some more STPL action. We're going to be going into game number 4 between Valhalla team and Hawk. Valhalla team and NiCe, sorry. It's going to be Hawk versus Cross. Let's actually quickly give both of our players a little bit of an introduction. Cross has not played in the STPL so far, but if I am to be believed, it is the same Cross that currently resides in Canada and is playing in the, well, was playing in the BSL game. Are you able to confirm that? Because I'm not 100% sure, but if anyone knows, you are, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it is a bit of a shame we never saw ZVC when Sparkle was in ASL, but you never know. Hold on. You never know what may happen, so see what happens. Let's see what happens. You never know. It's all good. But yeah, let's actually have a look at his opponent, going to be Hawk. Hawk is a more well-known player, I believe, than Cross is. Hawk did quite well in the Corrupted Cup. I mean, just qualifying for the Corrupted Cup 2019 is impressive. Really, really good US player. Good to see him back once again. He played quite well in one of the previous BSLs. He played in the Zotac Cup as well, qualified for that. And overall, from everything we've seen of him, he seems like a really, really nice guy. Now, he has won his only game so far, that was against Tech, but this is going to be a ZVZ, and ZVZ especially can be very, very interesting. So we'll have to see how his game's going to go as we head in to our 4th map of the series. It's going to be Whiteout. Now, Whiteout, obviously a really popular well, I guess it's popular in my eyes, but a really recent 3-player map, one of the best 3-player maps to come out in the last 6 years, and overall a fantastic map for all the matchups. Now, ZVZ, I think, is going to be a little bit quicker on this map, but you have the forests, the 3 of them in the middle, which do block out most of what's going on. And just to answer Migwe Furkos in chat. Unfortunately, I'm not in contact with Sale anymore. He disappeared off the face of the earth. Like, I don't know. I hope he's okay. Obviously, I don't know for sure. I know ages ago I asked, and the people on TL were like, oh yeah, he's been on TL recently, but this was a very long time ago, so I don't know. Unfortunately, we've lost contact. So he did this last time as well, and eventually he came back. So Sale is kind of like the foreign Boudoir Batman. He's the hero we need, but not right now. So maybe when BSL goes away, maybe when STPL disappears again for a long period, which I don't think is going to be happening, so I'm not planning on making the STPL disappear for a long period whatsoever. But say for example all the other tournaments go away, Sale might turn back up, but we'll have to see as we get into game number 4. It is it's Cross versus Hawk. Okay, starting us off here in the bottom right hand position, we do have in the pink, fighting for NiCe, it is Hawk. And his opponent spawning in the top right hand position, we do have in the blue, or cyan I think this is, fighting for Valhalla team, it's Cross. Okay, if Sale is Batman, what superhero am I? You know what, I don't think I can answer. If you guys want to give me an answer, I will take it. Because I don't think it's fair that I pick my own superhero power, because that would be a little bit, like, I could be a little bit egotistical. Yeah, looks like Cross has been mineral boosting a little bit. Now we are going to have an Overlord coming in for Hawk. And we're also going to see one for Cross as well. I got the players around the wrong way, but similar thing. Now, we'll have to see how the builds are going to diverge from here. Obviously, 12 pull, not the best build, but 12 hatch, very risky. We're not going to see a 9 pull from either player either, so we're going to have to keep an idea. Should have been egotistical now on Aquaman. You know what? There's nothing wrong with Aquaman. Like, isn't there a comic where Aquaman controls Cthulhu? So, okay, we are going to have 12 hatch from both players, actually. Very, very risky, but because neither of them probably know how each other play. So this is a very, very difficult decision to make, but you know what? It's going to work out for both of them. We're going to have a relatively economical CBZ. Now, unfortunately for Hawk, he's going to scout last, so he's not going to know that Cross is going for any form of 12 hatch just yet. So he is going to have to make sure he gets some lings a little bit earlier. Cross is going to be able to get his Overlord into the main, and then he's going to be able to see the hatchery as well. You see he's going to go down and check that, then go immediately to check out what's going on in the main here. Gas coming up for both players, pool coming up for both players. But obviously the advantage does go to Cross here. You can already see he's about 50 minerals ahead. Now, this is likely from using the ability to mineral boost. Now, if you don't know what mineral boosting is, it's essentially where you get a worker, you send it to a further away mineral, and then when it gets next to the mineral, you right-click it. Essentially what that does is units actually slow down. They decelerate to actually start mining. Like, I don't know if we'll be able to see it here, but watch this drone. You'll see as it gets there, it slows down a bit. Essentially what mineral boosting does is it removes the need for the worker to decelerate. You just immediately start mining, and it's not a big deal, but it does add up over the course of the game, and if you can use your APM for it, then that's good. I mean, look at Cross, he's at 400 APM right now. That's ridiculous. And I believe this game is actually... Canada versus USA as well, so they are probably on turn rate 16 or 24, which is really impressive to be able to get APM that high. But Obviously APM isn't everything. Hawk did manage to take a game off of Bonneth this previous weekend. Now this game was played the weekend before last, so this would have been played just before Hawk went to get ready for the Corrupted Cup and everything, but I know that Hawk has been playing a lot in preparation for that and this, so we'll have to see how he's going to do. Cross obviously with the Ling lead at the moment, but Hawk is actually going to get in with a scout. How the heck did he manage to get this Ling in? This Ling dove in a vat of butter here. Now, if I'm going to be Aquaman, can I at least be Namor, by the way? Because Namor is kind of cooler. But yeah, look at this. The Spire coming in as well. Hawk is going to see the timing of everything, see the gas timing, see there's no gas over here. And Cross, yeah, he's got obviously the scouting coming in with the Overlord. We're actually going to have a gas advantage coming in here for Hawk, as he'll get his second gas up a little bit quicker, but it's whether or not he can actually hold on to the huge swell of Lings. Hawk has played incredibly greedy this game. He's got a 5 drone lead, but this means he has less Lings. Now, look at this. He's actually going to be pulling drones. There is a sunken up here. He's using his single Ling to try and defend that. There's not actually a very good surface area for Cross. So Hawk is doing a really good job holding on to this so far. And if Hawk can keep this sunken alive, he's not lost a single drone. He is so far ahead right now. Cross built up a ton of, or used a ton of lava to get a ton of Lings, and they did absolutely nothing. Now, I can finally see why it's a little bit confusing having cyan as a color, but I do love it. I kept thinking the minerals and gas were his units, but man, that was an amazing hold. And Hawk now not only has a gas lead, he has a drone lead, and he's built a lot less Lings, and he's even got Lings left over, so there's not going to be a counterattack possibility here for Cross, which is usually what you would go for if you're going to be behind in the mute account. But still, it is a ZVZ. Everything comes down to this muteless control. There's going to be 7 muteless popping here for Cross immediately. In fact, it's going to be 5, 6, and 7 is almost done. Hawk only has 2 muteless out in the middle of the map at the moment. This could be a little bit difficult. He needs to pull back. He needs to make sure he is not throwing away muteless here. It's going to be 6 versus 6. Oh, but Cross is going to get the first hit here. This could be very, very difficult, keeping an eye on both of their fights here. It's going to be 6 versus 6, but 2 of the muteless very, very badly damaged. Hawk is doing a very good job attacking as he runs away. He's still not lost one of his, in fact, I think he lost an Overlord, but so did Cross. So both players are actually completely supply blocked. Hawk builds an Overlord and immediately fills up his supply with some more Mutelisks. And let's see if Cross is going to be able to go for some Scourge here, or if he's going to continue to add Mutelisks. Now, unfortunately, another Overlord is going to go down. But don't forget, Hawk does have a massive economy in comparison. There is going to be nothing but Muteless here for both players being built. No, in fact, it looks like Cross is going to opt to try and add some Scourge in. Now, if Hawk can micro against this, he is going to be at an advantage. He's at 10 Muters. He's got his own couple of Scourge as well. Cross is going to be at 11 Muteless, though. And there's going to be a couple of Scourge coming in for him, too. So Cross does actually have the advantage in terms of air, but we'll have to see, because Hawk is going to have the defense advantage. You know, no +1 carapace coming in for Hawk or Cross right now, so we're not going to see a big later game CVZ, I don't think. It's likely going to end with these Muteless. Now the Muteless coming in, Scourge popping out at the right time, the Muteless coming in from the perfect angle, but Scourge connecting for both sides. Oh, this is actually massive. Hawk has taken a ton of damage to his Mutelisks, but Cross has taken a decent amount as well, but it looks like Cross may have this engagement. Cross with great Mutelisk and Scourge micro here. Hawk is going to lose the drone lead, but let's see if he can get these Scourge to connect. Great micro here by Cross, keeping all his Mutas alive and getting another Scourge, but getting another Scourge hit. Hawk's Muta micro here has been letting him down a little bit, down to 4 Mutelisks. Again, 6. It's still relatively close. Picking off that Scourge. Great move here by Hawk. But Hawk is now at a drone deficit. And oh no, he actually takes another Scourge. This is not a position Hawk wants to be in. Hawk was in such an amazing position, but man, Cross, his muteless micro this game has been absolutely stellar. You can see why he did so well against Jaeyoon in the BSL as well, because Jaeyoon is also kind of drone man, so it'll all come down to this. Another drone being picked off here. Hawk trying to re-drone while building his muteless count back up, but unfortunately he is up against such an overwhelming number of mutas. His mutas are so close to death. Oh, he gets a nice couple of Scourge hits though. But is this a little bit too little too late? Hawk is taking damage as he retreats now. It's 8 versus 6. 2 more Scourge coming in. Oh, he loses another 2 Mutalisks. I think that's bound to be it. He's trying to hold on here, doing his best against Cross, but he is on borrowed time. He's doing great, or he's doing a great job microing back without taking too much damage. But, I mean, he's down 15 supply now. He lost another 3 drones. There's another 2 Scourge chasing his Mutalisks. And when they're that close, it's so hard to micro against them. GG, Hawk taps out, and Cross takes game number 4 even. Okay, I mean, that was a really, really well played game by Hawk. He was so far ahead after the beginning, but Cross with just stellar muteless micro managed to pull that back. And when that happens, unfortunately, there's not really too much you can do. Hawk did a fantastic job though, and obviously after his Corrupted Cup performance as well, I'm really excited to see his future games. But let's just bring up the results for this series. We're going to be heading into another series after this, so you won't want to miss that. But the win obviously does go to Valhalla team. Just checking it all added to the database properly, it did. So let's jump on over, have a look at the results, then we'll go into a quick break before the next series. It's going to be IRK versus White. It should be an incredible series, so make sure you don't miss that. But having a look just here. Valhalla team taking a 4-0, JD taking out Master, Reach taking down Chef Kev, Forever taking down Orb, but that game was certainly a lot closer than obviously the series score makes it look like. But Cross versus Hawk, a stellar ZVZ, a really impressive play by Cross to come back in that game. He had to just go through exactly the position that Cross was in. He had a drone deficit, he lost tons of lings without doing any damage, but his Muta Micro kept him in the game. Hawk was never able to actually use his early Mutalisk advantage for anything. He couldn't get any damage done at any point in the game, and Cross microed his heart out into victory for a 4-0 victory for Valhalla team. That's going to take us into set number 2 when we get back after this. See you guys soon.
Ouch.